Space is ever expanding, and so too is a genre of games known as space games. In this video series, I take a look at the news and updates in this genre and let you know what's over the horizon. This week, a number of massive games are about to get some impressive expansions, and there's the very interesting objects in space. The latest expansion for EVE Online released today and features entire new areas, ships and technology. The update is called Into the Abyss and brings with it, for the first time, a whole bunch of PvE focused content. Beyond the edges of known space is a region known as the Abyssal Dead Space, home to a civilization known as the Triglavian Collective. Here, players can find advanced technology that is in many ways far superior to much of other technology within the game. This tech then will be the reward for navigating the hazards of abyssal dead space and overcoming the challenges there. New ships include the Damavik, the Vedmak and the massively powerful Leshak, and of course I probably badly butchered the names there. Another new aspect of the game are mutaplasmids. These essentially are upgrades that players can use on existing modules. However, they come with an unusual risk. They're not guaranteed to upgrade your module and can instead make it far worse. However, a successful upgrade will bring with it huge bonuses. Ships and modules and other technology are not the only things that have received an update though. Planetary interaction has also received an update. Now this is a feature that allows players to gather resources from planets found across the galaxy. The new update streamlines this process, offering improved management tools. EVE Online of course remains a very popular space MMO, and it regularly receives large updates much like these ones. I've personally been playing the game on and off since its beta phase all the way back in 2003, so I'm certainly heading back to take a look at this very soon, so do keep an eye out for that. No Man's Sky may well have released close to 2 years ago now to an avalanche of criticism, but that hasn't stopped the developer Hello Games from working tirelessly on the game. The newest update, simply known as Next, is due to release on the 24th of July on both the PC and PlayStation 4. What's more, this is also the release date for the Xbox One version of the game. Details about just what exactly the update are going to contain are still fairly scant, but the largest aspect of the update has been revealed, and this is that No Man's Sky will finally be a full-on multiplayer game. Essentially, players will now be able to play together in just about every aspect of the game, from flying ships to space combat, from survival to hunting. Next, of course, isn't the first update that No Man's Sky has received over the past 2 years. Other updates include Pathfinder, Foundation and Atlas Rising. These include things such as base building, freighter purchasing, survival and creative modes, the addition of ground vehicles, a full-on mission and campaign including 30 hours of story, and many other things besides. Now, despite just how large all of these updates have been, they have all been entirely free, so no purchasable DLC in sight, a very good thing. Next will be a free update as well for both the PlayStation 4 as well as PC users, and it's also going to be included with the Xbox One release. The new update will be the largest one so far released for the game. Objects in Space is perhaps one of the most interesting space games to come out in years, as it has a very unusual yet somehow compelling premise. Situated many light years away from Earth in a cluster of star systems known as Apollo, you are the captain of a lone ship setting out to trade goods in order to keep your rundown ship functioning. Now, what's so unusual about this particular game for the space genre is that Objects in Space treats spaceships much like submarines. This means you'll be relying 100% on your ship's instruments in order to understand what is going on around you, and indeed in order to interact with your environment as a whole. Everything from navigation to combat will take place through these systems and interfaces. This naturally means you will have to keep a close eye on magnetic, gravimetric and radiation arrays, amongst many other things. The player's ship is completely customizable right down to the smallest level, meaning you will have full choice over how you outfit your ship. Objects in Space is due to enter early access on the 21st of June and will be available on both PC and Mac, and at a slightly later date it will also be available on Linux. For those of you who are fans of 4X games, you will almost certainly have heard of Stellaris, and to be perfectly honest, it's likely you will have heard of that game even if you aren't a fan of the genre. Stellaris has this month received 2 updates, the first in the form of a free patch called Niven that is available for everyone, and the second update is a story expansion called Distant Stars, and this is a story pack that is available for $10. The story pack opens up the game in some very interesting ways by delivering new areas to explore and expand into. The pack also contains new anomalies and leviathans, and players who have the expansion installed will soon discover so-called L gates. Opening one of these gates will take a bit of work, but once done, the player will be transported to as yet unseen regions. Distant Stars is currently available on Steam. The Niven update, meanwhile, brings a number of fixes and changes to the game, some of which include a reworking of the galaxy generation, which will essentially group stars into constellations. However, the connections between the stars will now need to be discovered through exploration. Binary and trinary star systems will now be making an appearance, which in turn will give some very visually impressive locations. For the full details on this update, do be sure to check out the link below. So that brings us to an end of this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.